With the dawn of the new college football season comes a flood of new hopes, new dreams, unrealistic expectations. Regardless of what happened over the offseason, there is reason for excitement. Well, if you're a UCF fan, that excitement died 15 minutes into last night's game. Welcome, everybody. Stadium Pulse, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC and Southside Baseball Association. I'm Jason Hamby. We talk ball 9 to 10 a.m. every Friday, expanding to Mondays as well. Not this Monday on Labor Day, but every Monday for the rest of the fall, starting on the 8th. It's here. It's time. We got ball to talk about. I was up till 12:30 last night. Way past what I was supposed to be for a guy who gets in at 5 o'clock in the morning here. But it was so worth it. So let's get right into it. I'm going to break down the UCF game from last night. USF had them. That was a nice little win over Boise State. Florida, here's the big one today. We're going to break down game by game, go through the schedule of Florida, Georgia, and Florida State, right? What are the realistic expectations? We already got people hopping in the chat. I appreciate you. If you're one of those fans, what are your actual expectations? That's what we've been asking for 2 weeks here. Seminole fans, what do you actually expect take? Because there's a huge, huge difference between the floor of your football team and the ceiling. For Georgia, it's kind of right there, right? There's no way they're going to go worse than really. Disaster would be 8-4. Best would be 11-1, maybe even undefeated. It's a 3 or 4 game difference. For Florida, it could be a 6 or 7 game difference. For the Seminoles, same thing. So what are your expectations there? We'll go game by game through the schedule. I'm going to tell you every reason why Georgia's going to be better this year than they were last year. And then we'll get to our game picks. We got a heck of a slate even tonight, but also into tomorrow. Obviously, Texas, Ohio State, Arch Manning expectations, and all of that. But we got to start down in Orlando last night. First of all, every single home opener that UCF has, there's a lightning delay. It was all 3 years that I was there. It happened again last night. It seems like legitimately every year we got a 2-hour lightning delay. I remember my sophomore year standing out there for hours on the concourse. I don't even remember who we were playing. I think it was worse than Jacksonville State, I'll tell you that. But nonetheless, that added to the dream killing last night. Because once you resumed the game, you had all of 6 fans in the stands. Obviously exaggerating. It was a lot more than you'd probably expect, but still, much less than a full season or a full stadium. So you start the game against Jacksonville State with Cam Fancher. We've detailed it every single Friday for the last month. He's your starting quarterback now. The quarterback competition, they had 3 guys transfer from Marshall and FAU, wins the job. The lefty. And he starts the football game, and he's missing layups. Now, you see the speed. You see him get out of the pocket, made a nice throw to start the football game that you couldn't come down with. But we're missing wide-open guys at the same time. Then about 5 minutes into the second quarter, he gets crushed, flattened, and we get a targeting penalty. He's out, lightning delay, wraps for 2 hours. Come back. After the, just twiddling my thumbs, flipping from USF and Nebraska, Taven Jackson's in the ball game. All right, well, this is the guy that I always thought would be the guy, right? Started at Tennessee, then transferred from Indiana. He comes in, and the offense still can't do anything. Guys, it's Jacksonville State, and it's 0-0 at half. I know that any college football is a blessing, is good. It's good college football. But, I felt like we were watching a JV contest there for a little bit. I mean, we're getting to the ball into the red area, then it's false start penalty. You finally stop them on third down, but you jumped off sides. All of these stupid things. It's 3-3, I think, going into the fourth. And what are UCF fans thinking? This is the crux of it all. The first thought, the only thought is this a repeat of last year? Last year we had 18 different quarterbacks, obviously starting with KJ Jefferson, and the offense was anemic all year. You could not convert a third down through the air. You could not hit the deep shot. You were missing slants and drags and throws that are 5 yards and less. Is this a repeat of last year? So before I get to the good, because, yes, in the fourth quarter, Taven Jackson turned it on. Okay? And I will get to that, I promise. But let me just hear this blanket statement. Everybody's watching your football team for the first time, either it was last night, tonight, or tomorrow. Okay? Or Sunday, I guess, as well. Here's a little gauge for where your football team is at. If at any point your football team has a 2nd and 1 at midfield, calls a screen, and the quarterback throws it at the receiver's feet. Then on 3rd and 1, throws a quick out, and the receiver's tackled for no gain. And then on 4th and 1, you run it up the middle, but a whistle was blown because the receiver on the far hash, who has absolutely nothing to do with the play, is literally 20 yards away from any action. He false starts, and you went from 2nd and 1 with the screen where the ball's in the dirt to 4th and 6 and punting. If that happens at any point to your football team, you have a bad football team. That's not a good football team. And then, if that happens against Jacksonville State, you might not have to clear a time slot to watch that team the rest of the year. You just won back 3.5 hours of your Saturday for the rest of the fall. Congratulations. You can go to the pumpkin patch with your girlfriend now. I mean, total disaster. Now, as bad as it was, if you didn't watch the game, UCF was, I believe, an 18 or 19.5 point favorite. Okay? With about 1:15 left in the football game, the game is tied 10 apiece, and Jacksonville State has the ball on the 40, opposing 40. They try to speed up and go 4th and 1. Defensive back for UCF, I believe it's Williams, made a great play, stopped it. UCF got the ball back with about 1:05, drove right down the field, scored a touchdown with 20 seconds left, ball game. Taven Jackson actually played really well in the fourth quarter. This is the reason for a glimmer of hope for as bad as that looked. And take it all with a grain of salt because it's Jacksonville State. But that's your reason to watch next week and maybe into week 3. At this point, it's week to week. Taven Jackson, he looked really good in the fourth quarter. He looked like the reason that you brought him over from Indiana. Looked like the reason why Tennessee recruited him so heavily out of high school. We're getting him out of the pocket, play action bootleg, especially on the last touchdown pass. Right? He ended up 17 for 24 with, I think, 250 and 2 touchdowns. Didn't turn the ball over. Did he miss easy throws? Yes. Did he not look comfortable in the pocket quite frequently? Yes. But he made throws when he had to, and he escaped with a win. Right? If I'm a UCF fan going forward, that's my big thing. I don't know what the deal. Fancher, the original starting quarterback, ended up, it wasn't concussion related, even though he took targeting. It was actually back related, Scott Frost said after the game. Maybe some back tightness, didn't look all that serious. But we'll see. Frost didn't make any kind of commitment going forward at the quarterback position. But obviously, Taven Jackson's got to be the starter next week. And that was the glimmer of, look, if for Knights fans, you've watched the glory days were all about a high-flying offense with a quarterback who could run, who could throw the deep ball, right? Last year, you saw none of that, and that's why it was so discouraging. It wasn't even just the win-losses. Like, I don't recognize this football team. And now, in the fourth quarter, last night, you saw a glimpse of that. Taking shots down the field, right, and actually hitting them. Wide open receivers, 25-plus down the field. Didn't see that a whole lot last year. That's what you saw during all of Milton's days and all of Dylan Gabriel's days. As frustrated as you might get with Heupel's 3 or 4 offensive plays that he would run them every single time. And that's the other thing that I learned. It's Taven Jackson, and then it's, hey, Scott Frost. There was a lot of play calls in that game where I was like, man, you know, I'm not a big X's and O's guy, but that was a really nice play design. I mean, just designing a guy wide open. The tight end on the touchdown. There was a number of them. So Scott Frost, that's another reason for excitement. You got to get that going, and who knows what will happen. But you only win by 1 score, and it takes almost a miracle. And Jacksonville State losing the football game, going for it on 4th and 1, and not even taking enough time to get a good play call in. Or you might have been 0-1 to Jacksonville State to start the season, and then, I mean, burn it down. But you got the win. You got the win. Other game last night that really had my attention was Nebraska, Dylan Raiola. I mean, we were not even 5 minutes into the game before we were already getting shots of how he's literally just a carbon copy of Patrick Mahomes and glazes the guy 10 times over. And then I got to see Travis. I mean, it's one thing to just what's the word here? I mean, it's just contaminate my NFL Sundays with Swift and Kelsey. Now I can't even watch the opening weekend of college football without it. I get it. Kelsey went to Cincinnati, and Dylan Raiola and Patrick Mahomes have a relationship. I don't care. Get them off the screen. Okay? So here's what I learned there. I mean, Nebraska was up 10 most of the ball game, ended up only winning by 3 and needing a late interception in the end zone to seal it, 2017 over Cincinnati. My one takeaway there is just Dylan Raiola just hasn't taken that next leap yet. Obviously, he was like one of the top quarterbacks 2 years ago when that class was committed to Georgia. That entire time, late flipped to Nebraska. You know, tip my hat, whatever. They paid him. He hasn't taken the step. Yet. But nonetheless, Nebraska gets the win. And then the game that everybody was really watching, the 5 o'clock Eastern time kick, and they deserve a little bit of credit here, is USF. And here's my biggest takeaway. Holy cow, Ashton Jeanty was underrated. All caps. I mean, I'm in Jacksonville. Travis Hunter is a Jaguar. Ashton Jeanty should have won the freaking Heisman. I mean, some of y'all said it then. I didn't. I thought it should have been Travis Hunter. After watching what I watched last night, GT might as well have been the most underrated player in college football last year. Watching that offense, you scored 7 points against USF. That Bronco offense was unbearable. The quarterback, Madsen, his throwing motion makes me, I want to change the channel. It's nasty. A 34-7 win for the Bulls. And I did have USF with the spread, so I do appreciate their services with that. But I don't know. Is this more about just, everybody picked Boise State to go back to the playoff. Neither of us did. To represent the group of 5. Yeah, you can kiss that goodbye. A 34-7 win for USF. And am I wrong? Boise State's out? I get, obviously, it's just the highest rated group of 5 conference champion. But I don't know how they could. I mean, it's going to be a long time before they ever sniff a ranking again. On the other side from Madsen, not being able to watch him throw the football, USF's quarterback is a dog. Zach, you know this guy's name?
No.
Byram Brown. Not Byron. Byram.
Got it.
Dude, he went out of his way. I think it was about a 30-yard scamper. He's nearing the end zone. One of the safeties tries to meet him at the goal line. Byron Brown just runs this dude over after crossing the goal line just for good measure. Just because he can. I mean, that guy, I mean, to beat Boise State by 27. Let me back up. This is insult to injury for UCF fans. You're scraping by Jacksonville State, and on the other channel, USF is taking Boise State, last year's playoff contender, out behind the woodshed. That can't taste good. Holy cow. But to beat Boise State by 27, look, is Boise State a formidable football team? I don't know. Obviously, they don't look like anything like a playoff contender like they were last year. Gene T's not there. A lot of people still thought they'd get back, and they thought they could replace him. The running backs did look decent. But so what? I mean, how impressive of a win for USF is that? I don't know. But a 27-point win is a 27-point win. And that brings me to this. Florida fans just got a decent game plan, a decent study, a decent film session watching last night's game. You play the Bulls week 2. We've spent months on this show talking about, for Florida, watch out early, specifically about LSU in week 3, because Lagway hadn't practiced all year, pretty much. You had a lot of injuries in fall camp. You might start slow. You can't afford to, because you go week 3 against Death Valley. Now, am I saying that that's sped up a week to hosting the Bulls week 2? Not necessarily. But you certainly can't treat it like Long Island University. You probably already knew that. I get it. Will I still pick the Gators to win that game by 2 scores? Absolutely. But I think this might be good, potentially, for Florida. Any amount that you take another opponent lightly, you're liable to get bit. So USF putting college football in a primetime slot on notice, beating Boise State, I think that will get Florida's attention and potentially do them good in the long run. Let's bring our producer. This is the man, the myth, the legend, who canceled is solely responsible for canceling JU's football program.
That's me right there.
Former kicker Zach Benwick. Yep. Zach, obviously you're an FSU guy.
I am.
You're going to the Florida game tomorrow against Long Island.
Yes, I am.
And why is that?
I have some friends at Long Island. I don't know any of their names, but they're playing against Florida, so we're friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you will be rooting for
Long Island University.
And
in all actuality, I just haven't been, and I live in Jacksonville. I'm a Florida State fan, so I've had no need nor the desire to go to the Swamp. But as someone who loves college football, I think that it's something that I just have to do at some point.
Okay.
So I'm visiting the Swamp to watch them lose to Long Island University.
Okay. In all seriousness, though.
No, Florida's winning.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a 50-point spread, pretty much.
Yep, I got it.
However, it is supposed to pour, so enjoy that.
I will.
The first alert forecast on Action News Jax this morning that I was watching a couple hours ago, they had the broadcast or the forecast specifically in Gainesville Saturday afternoon. Not expected to be a fun time. However, with your choice of clothing, I hear you'll be well prepared. Is that right?
I will be.
And why is that?
I've got several LIU shirts ready to go.
Now, I want you to really be sure to look in that camera and tell them and make sure they know that you're serious, please.
Okay.
Please go.
About what?
That you bought a Long Island University shirt.
Yeah, you can get Long Island University shirts on Amazon.
Okay. And how many dollars here did you just throw down the drain?
33.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so we at least know that outside of the friends and family of the 48 or so Long Island players, they will have one representative.
They will.
In the swamp.
They will.
And it's this guy right here.
Right here. That's me.
All right. Glenn C. says he was born on Long Island. I forgot to mention this. Thank you, Glenn C. in the chat. Shout out to St. Augustine Lachlan Hewitt for the fake punt. Yes, Lachlan Hewitt, St. Augustine quarterback, graduated last year, is now at USF as their third-string quarterback. They send him in on a 4th and 6 at midfield. I think it was midway through that football game against Boise State as the fake punter. He takes it, chucks it all the way down the field. Tutty, first ever touchdown pass in college football. And I think that was really to distance themselves. That might have been maybe 17-7 if I had to guess. So shouts to Lachlan, Jacksonville product, getting it done. All right. In all seriousness, let's get to Florida. And I think this is the question. We're gonna go game by game here in a second. But before we do, how many games will DJ Lagway play for Florida this year? Just take the regular season. Because here is the thing. I think, again, it's well chronicled on this show. I think DJ Lagway is an incredible talent. Incredible talent. Not a Heisman candidate this year. Will be next year. Okay, I think he's one of the best pure throwers of the football that we have in college football. Okay, I really enjoy watching him play. If y'all can believe that, I'm not hate watching Florida at all times. Some of the time, I love watching that guy play action pass and just heave that thing. Okay. That being said, take out the Stanford game last year. 9-9 touchdown interception ratio. Looked like a freshman. A lot. Didn't practice all year, pretty much. He's going to look like a freshman again, especially in the first half of the season. He's not going to be a Heisman candidate right off the rip. I just don't believe that. And just take that away. Even if he is, I think if you're a Florida fan sitting here today and you believe that DJ Lagway is going to go unscathed and play every snap of the regular season this year for the Florida Gators, I think you're delusional. And I don't really blame you because, I mean, how can you don't want to, you're a fan of it, like you're a fan of that team. Yeah, you're allowed to be delusional. That's why college football is awesome. Tennessee fans are allowed to believe they're going to go to the national championship every single year.
Yep.
It's all good. Okay, it's all good. Rationale only goes so far in college football. Okay? That being said, to believe that DJ Lagway is just going to go uninjured and not be banged up. I'm not saying serious injury by any means. But this guy's going to take his hits. And he hasn't shown that he's necessarily a guy who is extremely durable throughout those. So as we take a look at the schedule, for me, I think you got to pretty much say, hey, this is the record. This is the expectation if DJ Lagway is fully healthy the entire year. And then you prepare for what if he's not? Because for me, the most likely thing is you got to think he's going to miss a game or two. If that happens, it would obviously or most likely be in the meat of your SEC schedule. Because if he's out at Ole Miss, every Florida fan believes they're going to Ole Miss and winning that football game. You have to believe they're going to win that football game because there's not a lot of locks win-wise on this schedule. If you don't think that it's a lock they're going to beat Ole Miss, how could you possibly believe anything about LSU, Texas, Georgia? Right? But if DJ Lagway is not playing, you're not winning that game. So, look, I mean, obviously, I'm going to go with the 2-0 start. All right, LIU at USF. LSU, I don't think you're going to win that football game. I just think that it's Death Valley. It's this offense is going to take time. Dallas Wilson's missed time in fall camp, and he's a true freshman, right? Sturdivant hasn't had a lot of college experience. Eugene Wilson was injured at times in fall camp. It's going to take a little time to see the offense that you want. You're not beating LSU in Death Valley. And for me, I think Miami is a coin flip. And I can't wait for that one. Lagway versus Beck. I just don't know if Lagway will be up to speed with the rest of the receivers and all of the weapons in time. I get it. Miami home field advantage, not a big deal. Florida fans aren't concerned about it. Okay. Fine. I'll give you that one, just for the sake of the argument. 3-1 going into the bye. You're not beating Texas. You got to go to A&M. I'm a believer in Marcel Reed. I'm a believer in Mike Elko building a defense there at Kyle Field. I don't have you winning that football game. So you're 3-3 going to Mississippi State. That's a win. Obviously, if you think I'm going to not pick Georgia, I don't know, you must have never watched the show before. So that's 4-4. At Kentucky, Florida, you guys know better than anybody. When is that not a sweat? I'm going to give you the win because I think Kentucky's going to be really, really bad. But hey, every single year, it's a thing. 5-4 at Ole Miss. I don't know where we get. I get it. It's a new quarterback, Austin Simmons. Don't know a whole lot about him. It's still on the road in the SEC. You guys know. You beat him at home last year, so you think you're definitely going to beat him this year without Jackson Dart. They had a stacked offensive line or defensive line last year. They don't have it now. They're going to take a step back. Yes. Does that mean you're going to beat him on the road? I don't know. If you do, you're 5 what was that? 5-5? Or was that 7? Or was that 6-4? And then you probably split Tennessee and Florida State. Maybe you beat both of them. Then maybe you're 8-4. That's what I've got them at. I'm looking at an 8-4 here with a fully healthy DJ Lagway. And holy cow, if he misses time, if he misses two football games in October, November, oh boy. So, I'm wondering. I've seen a lot of people trying to sneak him into the playoff. I just don't get it. I just don't see the schedule. I get it. The schedule's hard. It is. Like, where do you see the auto wins? This is a 6-6 to 8-4 football team. And then you push all the chips in the offseason in the portal. You try to keep DJ Lagway healthy all offseason. You go into 2026 thinking that you're going to be a playoff contender. I'm all right with that. Not this year. Not happening. We got to get to a break. When we come back, Mr. Homer over there will have your FSU predictions, and he'll take you through all of the reasons why you should believe going into Alabama tomorrow. I'll tell you every reason why Georgia is better this year than they were last and why I have them going to the national championship. You can snip the bias if you want. I'm just going to lay it out for you, and then we'll have our game picks for tonight and tomorrow. That's ahead on Stadium Pulse. We'll be right back.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, Nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
Putting your needs first. It's the backbone of how First Florida Credit Union does business. In all honesty, you might as well be speaking another language when it comes to finances. Sure, I'm good with my money, but what am I missing in the fine print? That's what led me to First Florida Credit Union. They're the perfect choice for anyone starting their financial journey because they keep finances easy. Plus, they offer financial education and resources I can trust. So I'm always growing more confident. And as a young adult, I am constantly adding more responsibilities to my plate. From a car payment to a mortgage, it all adds up. Luckily, First Florida Credit Union makes sure it adds up in all the right places and not the wrong ones by offering better rates and lower fees than traditional banks, even if you're still trying to grow your credit. Because as a member-owned institution, First Florida genuinely puts people's needs first rather than focusing on profit. So I know as my needs change, they'll be right there to help me reach my goals. Check out firstflorida.org to learn how you can benefit too.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, you can get a free Connecticut reverse osmosis system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with their inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If 4 wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard, or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.
It's fast-paced,
Hands off on first down, and there goes Edward Vander.
high fly,
Wide open receiver. It's caught.
action-packed, weekend fun. Fun for the entire family. It's the Jacksonville Sharks.
I feel like anybody could play in this league. It's gotta be like backyard football, right?
Whoa! This ain't the Arena League, Brent. This is the indoor league, and they play defense here.
It's a lot safer to just watch the professionals play. And watching is a lot of fun. A party in the stands at the arena for kids and adults. And it's indoors. Get out of the heat for the summer and watch the Sharks shine inside. Jacksonville Sharks football, season number 15. It's the Drive for 5, and it's still alive. Get your tickets at jacksharks.com.
Welcome back to Stadium Pulse on a Friday, presented by Nimnik Buick GMC and Southside Baseball Association. Let's talk ball for a little bit longer here on a Friday. We'll start, look, again, onslaught of games tomorrow. I think the biggest one, or perhaps the biggest one, is Florida State versus Bama. We're going to get to our game predictions here in a second. Before we do, again, appreciate everybody hopping in the chat. If you're an FSU fan, give me your prediction win-loss for this year. John in the chat, UCF is literally a disgrace to the game. Yep, just like Phil Hellmuth. Absolutely. It was really bad last night. That being said, all right, let's get to FSU. They were a disgrace to the game last year. Here's their schedule. Look, Castellanos, think he's a decent player. I'm not going to believe in Gus Malzahn's offense, and I know it's still Mike Norvell's offense, but I'm not going to believe in Gus Malzahn's offense until I'm forced to, and that's the bottom line, right? So you start with Bama, right? And a lot of these ACC games, I mean, am I going to sit up here on this show and tell you that I know exactly what Pitt is putting out there this year? No. VTech? No. Although I am obviously going to take South Carolina tomorrow to beat them, because as you guys know, we put our full playoff predictions on display last week, and I have South Carolina going to making the playoff and making a run, right? I don't know if I'm interested more in the win-loss for FSU as much as I am about the feeling around the program, the feeling around Mike Norvell. What is it at after week 6? What is it after the end of the season? Right? Is the feeling that there's still a lot of belief that it's an upward trend with FSU, that there's excitement going into 2026. I think that's more so what this season is about for Mike Norvell and company. This is not a year about making a run to be in the ACC championship. It's not a year about trying to get to the playoff. You're just trying to rebuild excitement in your fan base and get them back on board with the program that you're running and the type of product that you can try to put on the field. Because after you go 2-10, there's a lot of steps before we just got to worry about win-loss. That being said, Zach, obviously, I see more than a few L's on the schedule here. You're the FSU guy.
Yep.
Please tell us why you're excited about the Noles this year.
Well, for starters, Jason,
go ahead and bring yourself on. No, look, if you're going to spew it, go ahead, bub.
For starters, Jason, one of the things that I want to go over is I'm not a naive FSU fan, okay? I understand there's going to be a few losses this year, okay? I'm not even expecting us to make the playoff, maybe not even a run for the ACC championship, but I'm expecting at least a 6-6 season at the bare minimum. And for you as someone who hasn't gotten the direct, I guess you have at UCF in some capacity, and you're familiar with him and his work in the SEC. But as far as Gus Malzahn goes, I am a believer, Jason. I am.
Oh, boy. If you were going to start with why you should believe, Gus Malzahn shouldn't be mentioned.
So let's start here. Okay. The first thing that I want to bring up is I've hinted at it for 2 weeks.
You have.
And every time I bring it up, you get red in the face, and it's the most exciting thing to watch.
It's not going to happen this week.
Okay. Then don't let it happen. But one of the things I want to bring up is a stark comparison between Florida State this year and last year and Auburn in 2012, 2013.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep, here we go. Here's what happens. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
In 2012, right after Cam Newton, Gus Malzahn leaves. He goes to Arkansas State. They win the conference championship there. Auburn suffers because they lose their OC, and they go 0-8 in the SEC, 3-9 overall.
Mm-hmm.
They hire Gus Malzahn. He brings in transfer quarterback Nick Marshall, who, by the way, I found an interview of him trying to speak the other day. He sounds exactly like Xavier Leggett. You can't hear a word he's saying. But anyway, back to the point. They bring him on. They got Trey Mason. They got Artis Payne, and they do pretty good. They go to the national championship after two back-to-back prayer games. And Florida State beats them. It was the greatest day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I bringing up 2013 Auburn, Jason? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Here's why. Is because the difference between 2012 and 2013 Auburn was Gus Malzahn coming in and bringing in a transfer quarterback who's mobile. Any coach, any team, Jason, that has a mobile quarterback and an 1,000-yard back or two good backs, right, should be a good football program. Would you agree? Should be.
Yes.
Okay. But Gus Malzahn, every year that he's had a two good backs or an 1,000-yard back and a mobile quarterback, goes to the conference championship. Is that going to be the case this year? Probably not. But, dude, he knows how to play with them. That's his style.
I get it.
Okay, so that's why Florida State fans should believe. Also, in comparison to last year's 2-10 season, we have 45 transfers, 2 new coordinators, one of them being Tony White. Well, I'm telling you, I think we're going to be good this year. I'm not telling everybody to just go haywire and believe that we're going to be the best team in the nation or even the best team in the ACC. But there's a very real reason to believe that Florida State can get 6 or 7 wins this year, which is a huge win compared to last year's 2-10 season and an absolute letdown comparatively to the year before.
All right, look, I mean, if it took all that just to get you to 6 and 7, you could have just saved it because I think you'll win 6 or 7 ball games. I mean, you got to be FSU 2024 to not win 6 or 7 ball games in the ACC year after year. So I'm with you there. However, I mean, look, Malzahn tried it for 3 or 4 years at UCF to get a mobile guy. I mean, Castellanos, let's not forget, started at UCF. I know he's a true freshman, was only there 1 year and sat behind John Rice Plumlee. And last year they didn't have a mobile guy because, hey, guess what? Who picked KJ Jefferson? Gus Malzahn. That's why he was about to be fired, wasn't fired, but was sent packing. As far as the transfers go, I don't care how many transfers you got. That's what y'all touted the year before. I mean, I get it. When you have half a new team of transfers, 45 transfers, yes, it's a new leaf. There's always a chance that those guys are really good, and it allows the opportunity for a quick turnaround. And I see that. But at the same time, why are the number of transfers any reason for excitement after y'all had about the most in college football the year before, and you see where that got you? I think, look, if you're looking at the schedule, yeah, you just got to believe that by way of almost Murphy's Law, that because you have a competent, who you believe as of right now, before you've seen him take a snap in an L uniform, you believe you have a competent quarterback. On that alone, you should win 6 games in the ACC. You should be taking care of Wake Forest. You should be taking care of Stanford. Stanford just lost to freaking Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay. So, look, yeah, 6 and 6, I'm with you. But for me, I would say if I'm a Noles fan, Noles fans should believe that y'all are going 8 and 4. If not, then Mike Norvell has done a terrible job of selling the team to you. That is part of the job as a coach, especially in college football. You sell the team to your fan base, to your boosters. And if y'all only believe that y'all are going 6 and 6, 7 and 5, well, then he hasn't done a good enough job there, much less on the football field. Now, look, if y'all go 8 and 4, here's my question to you before we move on. If y'all go 8 and 4, does Mike Norvell deserve credit?
Yeah, he does. If we go 8 and 4, Mike Norvell deserves credit. He is the guy bringing in the guys who are going 8 and 4, whether it's the coordinators or the players or the transfers. And something else that I want to mention as it pertains to Mike Norvell getting any sort of credit for an 8 and 4 season is, yeah, the reason that we were horrible last year is probably because of some of the transfers. But one of the other reasons that we were horrible last year, by the way, is because I don't know how many of you guys have played football at any level outside of high school. Really either an elite high school team or JUCO and above.
You count yourself in that category?
Yeah, I do.
Yes,
this is high school and above. JUCO, high school and above. Okay. You got it, okay? Here's what you have to understand. It is defense wins championships. Everyone says this, okay? But it is so demoralizing as a defense, a special teams unit, to show up to practice every day, to show up on game day, go out there and give your best, knowing that your quarterback's going to go out there and suck up a storm. There's no confidence in the team. So as a defense, how do you possibly expect Florida State to stop anybody? I get it. have some pride in your program. Well, it's hard to have pride in your program when your quarterback's transferred 3.5 times, sucked at every school he's been at, and then blew it. Okay, I know exactly what you're going to say. So what about Castellanos? He doesn't. You know this too, Jason. He doesn't fit in Bill O'Brien's offense.
I understand that.
He's got a new chance. If there's any sort of coach in college football.
Don't do this.
Hold on. No. I don't think you know where I'm going with this. I said if there's any QB coach comparison that fits for Thomas Castellanos, it's Gus Malzahn for his type of playing.
Hey, it's getting a lot of traction in the chat, so I'll give it to you. Chan says Norvell has done a terrible job. Oh, I missed it. Ross is just laughing at you. Cutter says, wasn't Norvell supposed to be leading y'all to the playoffs each year? Why is his leash so long? YB400. Stadium Poll's going to be good this year. Hey, I appreciate YB400. That guy's been in here since the very jump. Appreciate all of the activity in there. Look, we love the chat. All right, I want to see what you guys are saying each and every week, especially when we move to Mondays as well, because Mondays are ripe for reactions. You guys are going to have them. Let's have a debate or two. Nate is a FSU fan. He says, did it once. We just got cooked. So he's talking about the depending on the transfer portal as well. So before we get out of here, we do have limited time. Let me get to Georgia. I've been sitting on this for a long time. Okay, and I'm gonna look in this camera and I'm gonna tell you every single reason why Georgia is going to be better this year than last. Okay, I don't think anybody believes that outside of the Georgia fan base. Yet we have a quarterback that you guys have seen we've all seen play for 6 quarters that nobody believes in. Okay, or to the extent of a potential SEC championship or a run in the playoffs. However, I'm gonna rattle off. I got about 5 reasons, and as you see the schedule on the side of the screen, we'll get to that as well. Gunnar Stockton being able to run cannot be overstated how much that's going to make a difference in the look and the feel and the productivity of this offense. I like Carson Beck. I think he's really good, especially between the ears, and he's a pure throw of the football. You may disagree. One thing we can agree on, he was pretty much a statue in the pocket last year. Okay, he's strictly a pocket passer with his feet in the ground. 0 threat in the run game, although he's probably more athletic and should have been used more, not arguing that, because I think you'll see that a little bit at Miami. But the fact of the matter is, and was, opposing defenses that Georgia faced last year didn't have to account for him in the run count at all. With Gunnar Stockton, that's completely different. That backside edge defender who came crashing down every single run play on our running back, and that backside linebacker who replaced and filled in right after, they have to hold now because Gunner's just going to keep it and run right by him. This kind of like, option 101 here is when you have a mobile quarterback, right? That's two fewer heads in the run count that can just 100% pin their ears back, go right after the running back. That really matters, especially in today's college game. Right? So Gunner's going to keep it at least 5 times a game designed, in my opinion. If I had to chalk it right now, it's going to make a huge difference. That's going to not only create a whole nother lane for him, it's going to create a lot more holes for Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, Bo Walker, all 3 guys. I mean, there's a stable of running backs that you're going to see tomorrow against Marshall, especially with, a game like that. We don't expect all of the starters to play all 4 quarters. At least I certainly hope not. But I expect Nate Frazier to go for 1,000 yards. I expect the fact of the matter was in almost every rushing statistic last year, Georgia failed and was nowhere close to what you think about when you think about Dogs football. Whether you're a Dog fan or not, you have an idea of what Dogs football is. It's really good defense and it's smash mouth running the football. That wasn't us last year. And you could argue that wasn't even really us in the national championship because Stetson could throw it. And he was mobile. That's what you're going to see a lot more of this year. Weapons on the outside, huge reason why Georgia will be better this year than last. Noah Thomas, Kobe Young is back. Zach Branch, one of the top receivers out of the portal, along with Noah Thomas coming over from A&M. We haven't had these receivers in this type of receiver room in legitimately years. 5 years. I go back to the even Pickens days, and not even Pickens was even that productive year in and year out for Georgia. He really only played 1 year, or was productive for 1 year with the injury. Georgia has better receivers now than really I can remember. And big, go up and get it guys that they haven't had. Stretch the field. That's less of a run. We're not which SEC defense is going to be able to stack the box against Georgia? I don't believe there will be one. Okay, I truly expect the offense to take an unbelievable stride. Gunner is a leader. Okay, I like Carson Beck. Obviously, as everybody knows, we grew up with the guy, we played with the guy, teammates with the guy, all these things. I don't know if he was the leader of Georgia, of the locker room, last year that he should have been. Or that he could have been. I think Gunner's more of that guy, and I think that matters. And last, and maybe the biggest reason, is just look at the schedule. The schedule was really hard last year because all of your big games were on the road. Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas. Now you host all three of those teams at home. Playing on the road in the SEC, Kirby Smart talks about it every single press conference, it's really hard. Now you host Alabama, you host Ole Miss, you host Texas. I have this team going 11-1 with a loss to Texas and rematching against them in the SEC championship. Obviously, y'all saw my prediction of the whole playoff last year. I don't think I could sleep at night if I didn't pick them to make a run and go to the national championship. I have the Dogs winning the championship this year. And I'm telling you, and whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. I'm telling you, I think we're going to be that much better than last year. I think the offense is going to be a totally different look. All of the incompetence, the mistimed throws, the miscommunications, I think those will all be cleaned up. Look, when we won the second national championship, the Dogs on the field celebrating with the newspapers were saying, y'all thought we were going to be 8-5. How Kirby Smart got them to believe that, I don't know. But if he got them to believe that then after winning a national championship, surely he can give them some smoke and some bulletin board material after last year, because last year was a failure. With that being said, we got to get to our game predictions. Holy cow, this is a slammed Saturday. We'll start actually with tonight. Auburn at Baylor. I love Baylor, plus 2.5. I'm going to take him outright to win the game. Zach, you got anything there? All right, we'll differ on that one. Another good one, Syracuse, the Fighting Fran Brown's former DB coach at Georgia. Love that guy. They're at Tennessee, technically neutral site. I am in communication. I want everybody to understand. I am in communication with one Tennessee Nick to get him on the books before this week 3 matchup between Georgia and Tennessee. I think Tennessee might be better at the quarterback position with Drew Aguilar than they were with Nico Iamaleava. I don't know what he thinks about that. We're going to see. I still have Tennessee minus 13.5. We'll skip that one for now. Here's the biggest one, the biggest regular season opener perhaps of all time. Texas at Ohio State. Zach, what do you got?
Ohio State.
All right. I have Texas. I think, look, you want to have the most semblance and most resemblance in week 1, the least amount of change year over year. I get they have both have new quarterbacks. Arch Manning has played more than Julian Sayin. Ohio State has 2 new defensive coordinators, yes, from within, kind of, with Hartline as their OC. That change matters for me. I'm trusting Sark on the road. All right. I'll take Texas money line. Georgia is 38.5-point favorites. We never cover those. I'm not taking it because I can't do it. Zach, make sure your mic's up.
It's on.
Take Marshall. Do yourself a favor. I'm not, but you can. Bama at FSU. I've got Bama by 17. Zach, you've got FSU.
I've got FSU covering the spread of 13.5.
Who's going to win the football game?
Florida State's winning the football game.
Okay.
Florida State's winning the football. It's going to be close. It's not a blowout. Florida State's winning the football game.
And I think that's about the note that we're going to have to end it on real quick. LSU at Clemson. Don't believe in Brian Kelly. Take Dabo Swinney. I've got Clemson money line there. South Carolina will take care of business against VTech. And I've got Carson Beck in Miami defeating Notre Dame at home in South Florida. That's why I don't have Notre Dame in my playoff. Action-packed hour of college football talk here on Stadium Pulse, presented by Nimnick Buick GMC and Southside Baseball Association. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're going to do this every Monday and Friday starting not next week, but the week after. So enjoy your Friday. Enjoy this time. College football is back. Take a second to soak it all in. It's here. Coming up in 5 minutes, Brenton Austin Show, talking the Micah Parsons trade. What in the crap is Jerry Jones thinking? What is he doing? Holy cow. We got Cohen soundbite on Trevor's progression. You guys want to hear that if you're a Jags fan. And then we'll also have our Saturday predictions as well as our Hard Rock bets. Wild Thursday of college football, as we just detailed for you the last hour. Appreciate everybody. Have a good Friday.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
Putting your needs first. It's the backbone of how First Florida Credit Union does business. In all honesty, you might as well be speaking another language when it comes to finances. Sure, I'm good with my money, but what am I missing in the fine print? That's what led me to First Florida Credit Union. They're the perfect choice for anyone starting their financial journey because they keep finances easy. Plus, they offer financial education and resources I can trust. So I'm always growing more confident. And as a young adult, I am constantly adding more responsibilities to my plate. From a car payment to a mortgage, it all adds up. Luckily, First Florida Credit Union makes sure it adds up in all the right places and not the wrong ones by offering better rates and lower fees than traditional banks, even if you're still trying to grow your credit. Because as a member-owned institution, First Florida genuinely puts people's needs first rather than focusing on profit. So I know as my needs change, they'll be right there to help me reach my goals. Check out